and the Lord shall utter his voice before his army. For his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it?
Thank you for tuning into the Sisters Talk podcast, the King's Edition. We are so honored to have Arthur Frank Jordan with us today. Oh my God. So if you guys don't know who he is, make sure you research him, because I have a little bit of information I want to give you on the front end before we get into it. Okay. And before we introduce him officially. So for the next 2 weeks, I will be off of the air. There will not be a Sisters Talk podcast airing on the next 2 Sundays. Of course, you know, this upcoming Sunday will be the Sunday before Christmas. And then we go into the new year. So you guys, Sisters Talk podcast will be back on January the 3rd. Don't cry. I know you're going to miss us. But we need a break. We need to rejuvenate and get into the new year spirit. There's going to be a lot of changes, guys. New president, new laws, new rules, new attitudes, new jobs, you know, all that good stuff. So I definitely just wanted to keep you guys informed on what we're doing here at Sisters Talk. And we want to thank you guys for the constant support. Now, without further ado, I would like to pass the torch over to Miss Asia Kara. Carol is the CEO of Survivor Not by Chance. She is the author of The Pressures of Becoming a Diamond. So I'm going to pass the torch to you, sister.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. And we're so appreciative of all of our viewers being here with us and supporting us throughout the year. Thank you so much. And I'm so honored. I'm so humbled and grateful that I can introduce author Frank Jordan. I am super excited that he is here with us today. He has quite a few books. I think it's like 7 books he has. You can find him on Amazon. If you just type his name, you can find all of his books on Amazon. And tonight we're going to focus on 2 of his books. One of them is called We Once Were a Family: The Disappearance of the Black Soul of Culture. And the other book we're going to focus on tonight is called 500 Years of American Deception, Unmentioned Secret World History. Oh my goodness. I am so excited. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Hey, listen, all praise to the Most High. And I thank both of you, Danny and Asia, for having me. It's a pleasure. It's definitely a pleasure. And thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. So go ahead,
Awesome.
take it away.
Oh, me? Back to me already? Okay. All right. So, gosh, Arthur Frank, man, you are powerful. So for people who want to know how we even ran across Arthur Frank Jordan, we were inside of one of those Arthur groups. Asia, do you remember the name? I think it's called Supporting Black Authors, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And so we happened to tune in the day that you were doing your interview with the host. And my goodness, when I say you were laying down the information, I mean, transparently, unapologetically, and I was just blown away. It was the first time that a podcast caught my attention that didn't have my face on it, or just one of those popular ones. And I was engaged. I was supposed to go grocery shopping that day, and I was sitting in my car watching you and the host of this show go back and forth. And so I said to myself, man, I would love to have him on the show. And before I could even put that in the atmosphere, my sister Asia had already reached out and contacted you, because both her and I were listening in along with so many other people. So I just want you to hit the floor. I don't even want to ask that many questions, because you have so many powerful books. It would take hours to get through that amount of information. But I want you to start with the book that you think is most important for people to buy, purchase, read with understanding. And then I also would love for you to at least expound on a little bit about that book with the vaccine, right? The importance, or the right, because I saw that one. That's the one I have in my cart to purchase on next week. So without further ado, I'm going to let you have it. It's your King's Edition. Go ahead and take the floor.
Hey, listen, once again, thank you. our history, number one, has been grossly, misrepresented, and a lot of times, sadly, as it, may sound, the only history that we get, in the schools, is, maybe three people. You may get Martin Luther King, that's number one. They may throw in a couple more people in there, Harriet Tubman, and they may throw in, maybe W.E. Du Bois, maybe. But there are certain people that they just push in the forefront of, school taught history. And, if you didn't know any better, you would just think that, our history started, just with those people. But let me tell you, let me hit you in the head with this right here. There's a reason why, that they push guys like, Martin Luther King in the forefront of our history. And they always have our kids recite, the dream speech, and, they show that every year, the Eye on the Prize. Martin was a good brother. I mean, and what the man did, for, the accomplishments and for the forwardness of Black people, that's something that's unprecedented. You have people that won't stand up today like Martin, Martin did, back in the 60s, but contrary to belief, I'm going to draw your attention to real quick to the Vietnam War, and prior to the Vietnam War, and I always bring this out. Prior to the Vietnam War, I would probably say in the late 1800s, maybe 1880, 1890, during the time of segregation in the Jim Crow era, there was nothing but Black businesses. There was Black Tulsa, Oklahomas all over the place. And one thing sticks out for me is that in Chicago, I went to school in Brooklyn, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. And one of the things that stick out to me is that the name of my elementary school was called Dr. Daniel L. Williams. So, in front of the school, you had this big white, it was a blue tile checkered design of Plagiaris, the Caucasian Greek goddess. So, as a kid, if you're going to a school called Dr. Daniel L. Williams, if they don't teach you any better, every day when you're going to school, you're looking at the Plagiaris, the symbol of the Greek goddess, and you're thinking, really as a kid, you're thinking, okay, well, that's Daniel L. Williams. But when you go back and do research, actually, this was never taught to me. Daniel L. Williams actually was not only the first, Black open heart surgeon, but this man actually built and erected and architected a Black hospital in Chicago called the Providence Hospital. Now, this was a hospital in Chicago, called the Providence Hospital. It had actually 65 beds, and this hospital predicated itself on training Black nurses. And it was actually predicated to only taking Black patients, and they had only Black doctors. Now, contrary to belief, a lot of times they're not going to tell you this in history. Now, they had a Black nursing training school there that only trained, Black nurses. And this hospital was built by Dr. Daniel L. Williams, because during the time of 1890, now the hospital actually was built, in 1856. So during that time, that was like the height of the segregation in the Jim Crow era. And in Chicago during that time, Blacks weren't allowed, to use the same hospitals as whites. So this brother, Dr. Daniel Williams, said, hey, listen, oh, really? Is that a fact? So he got together with the townspeople in Chicago, and he got, a bunch of people to fund him, a bunch of Black people. It was erected by Blacks, and not only was it erected by Black architects, but this school also, it served as it doubled, as an all Black nursing school, and they called it the hospital for colored people. That's okay. That's all right. That's fine. That's all right. But the hospital actually still stands in Chicago today. It was the first and the only Black erected hospital, all Black hospital in the United States. And this is something that they will not teach you in school. Something that they will not teach you in school.
That's phenomenal. We would have never known that.
Honestly, because you know what? The saying, you don't know what you don't know. Right. That's not even an idea or thought for us to research, even though the information is there, I'm sure. But because, like you said earlier, they only teach you like these mainstream African-American influencers. And they're the same ones over and over, but they don't talk about the people who invented the everyday luxuries like the hairbrush, or the refrigerator, or how this Black woman contributed, or if I'm not mistaken, probably full-heartedly invented the home security systems. That's something to look up. There's so many, and I only know this myself because I started a trend a couple of years back, about 4 or 5 years ago, where every Black History Month, I found a new Black person that invented something that I didn't know about. And I would put a paragraph or two of information about that person to share on Facebook, because I knew for sure no one else knew this information either.
Right. Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. And also, let me point this out too. We live in a, when you have a government, okay, that's, that we're pretty much predicated on, it's pretty much predicated on a voting system, either Democratic or Republic. So our people, we vote in hopes of, getting someone elected that's going to make it easier on us. And we vote, thinking that things are going to be a little bit better. But actually, to be honest with you, there is a such thing as called land. And, our people, they, not all of our people, but, most Blacks, I mean, let's just put it out there. We're the most undisciplined people on this planet. We don't have any discipline. We get a income tax check. We give it right back to corporate white America. We'll, sing We Shall Overcome during the month of Black History, February. And the next thing we know, we're spending all our money. Look, let me tell you something. All right. When everyone voted, okay, everyone should have collected it, just like you can galvanize the whole neighborhood, to go down to the polls and vote. You can galvanize those same people to collect $10 each from everybody to buy a piece of land. Okay, you can build your own schools, you can build your own hospitals, you can build your own grocery stores, you can build your own clinics, you can build your own daycares. Okay, and you can run things like you want to. Okay, but we become so dependent, okay, on a voting system, okay, that was put here for us, okay, just so we can become so self-reliant, okay, on the American way. Okay, because pretty much when we go to school, most times when you go to school into a university, what you're doing, the professors, okay, and your teachers, not saying all teachers, because you do got some teachers out here that actually promote, okay, self-sufficiency. But for the most part, when we go to school, we're taught to work, okay, for the American corporations. Okay, we go to school, we're gonna get a degree, we pride ourselves. Oh, I'm getting a 6-figure salary working for IBM. Oh, I'm getting a 6-figure salary working for Pfizer. Oh, I'm gonna become an executive working for a corporate white America. But what happened, to our forefathers? Let me bring something else to your attention. Annie T. Malone, this woman right here, she was, okay, one of the first Black women, okay, that, okay, erected her own college called Poro College. Okay, and this is a woman, okay, by the name of Annie T. Malone. She was a Black woman that erected Poro College, okay, in St. Louis, Missouri. And let me tell you what the college was all about. The school was all about training Black women. It was a Black beauty school, okay? This is what it was. It was a Black beauty school where she trained Black women, okay, to become Black beauty professionals, okay? And guess what? This was the woman, okay, who taught Madam C.J. Walker. You never hear about Annie T. Malone. Madam C.J. Walker was her student, okay? Madam C.J. Walker she just took the torch and just built a little bit more. But you don't hear about Poro College, okay? Because Annie T. Malone, this was a Black beauty college, okay, called Poro College, okay? That was in St. Louis, Missouri. They don't talk about stuff like this. They somehow this gets erased out of history. Because you want to know something, Asia? You want to know something, Donnie? Because if you have kids that know stuff like this and that look up to women like this and look up to men like Dr. Daniel Hale Williams, they're going to go, whoa, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Something is wrong here. Then their mind is going to start thinking. They're going to say, wait a minute, okay? The same way I just said, we can galvanize and we can collect $10 from people. We can buy maybe 2-3 acres of land and we can do the same. Don't you know we can do the same exact thing? We can erect contractors. We can go someplace and erect contractors and build our own colleges, so we won't have to be subject. Your kids won't have to be subject, okay, to learning about Christopher Columbus, and they won't have to be subject to learning about George Washington because he had slaves, okay, just like Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson had slaves. Thomas Jefferson had over 650 slaves. It's facts. George Washington had 315 slaves. Those are facts. Okay, so this is what your kids are learning in school. Okay, they're learning to subject themselves, okay, just to work for corporate white America. Now, why? And you got to kind of ask yourself this. Okay, well, that's what gentrification and that's what integration is all about. Let's go back to what I was talking about the Vietnam War. That war was intentionally planned and it was strategically planned, okay, to separate the black families all together. The United States acquired over 5,000 acres of land full of poppy fields, okay, and they took the black man out of the home and had a unsolicited draft, okay, and took the black man out of the home, took him over to Vietnam, got him high as hell, used him as an experiment, all the heroin and morphine you can get. Okay, that war lasted for over 20 years. During those 20 years, Asia and Donnie, listen very carefully. During those 20 years, okay, in comes the welfare reform bill, okay? You got the white woman, the feminist woman knocking on the black woman's door. You need help? Okay, sure, you need help. Your man is over there at the Vietnam War. You need help? You need a little bit of money? Sure, we'll give you some money. You need a little bit of food? We'll give you some food. Okay, you need a little bit of medical care? We'll give you medical care. But there's one thing that you got to do. Keep that black man out of the house. Okay, and that was part of the stipulation, okay, part of the welfare reform bill. That was the beginning of the end of the black family structure to this day. Prior to that, 1920s, this is what we had. Okay, you had black men like this, okay, building hotels. This is what we had before the Vietnam War. This is exactly what we had. This is another black man that they don't mention, A.J. Gatson, okay, that built a black all Gatson hotel, a black hotel, okay, in Birmingham, Alabama. Okay, and what this does, okay, it was called the Gatson Hotel, and what this does, this builds remarkable, supreme, okay, self-esteem amongst our people. Other than thinking that we were just the managers, okay, and the supervisors there. No, these hotels were erected by blacks, for blacks, okay, and still to this day. And how dare teachers show stuff like this to build black kids' self-esteem? You know, the only thing they teach you, okay, is to be a manager, get a manager degree, or, you know, be a supervisor. But when you look back on stuff like this, it kind of chimes, okay, and sparks that intellect and sparks that genius, okay, that our forefathers had as well.
This is why it's so important for us to have you on our platform, because we need to teach this information to our people.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. One more thing. Mechanics and Farmers Bank was established in 1908 during the time of segregation. Okay. By the same in Durham, North Carolina. Okay. Now this bank right here, the Mechanics and Farmers Bank, they have over, I think, 100 branches still today. This is a bank that was actually founded, okay, by black men, okay, that actually lived in Durham, North Carolina, okay, and actually these men, okay, founded also the North Carolina Mutual Insurance Company as well too. And what they did, they was actually loaning black farmers, okay, money, okay, they predicated on loaning black farmers money. Okay, so they can farm, and they was actually loaning black people money to buy homes as well too. This is way before integration. During the time of Vietnam War, the 20 years, Donnie, let me tell you something. Danny, let me tell you something. In comes the welfare reform bill. Okay, not only the welfare reform bill, but you had guys that were selected like Martin Luther King, Jesse Jackson. You had those guys that was pushing integration. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Okay. And Martin Luther King was pushing integration while the black man strategically was taken out of the home. Okay. But all at the same time, too, that's what really destroyed us. As a result of that, the crime rate went up. The black marriages went down. Okay. The divorce rates, okay, was at an all-time high. More drugs infiltrated into the black community as a result of integration. We had more killings, more guns in our community. We didn't own a damn thing, okay, as a result of that. So you got to kind of ask yourself, okay, and don't be ashamed of it. And my thing is this too, is that we have become ashamed of being who we are. So a lot of times, you know, when you see black men like myself, or you see a lot of brothers that's out there teaching, you know, just at random, you know, a lot of us are ashamed, you know, be like, oh my goodness, like, no, I'm not associated with those guys over there. We're ashamed. White America has made us ashamed, okay, to be who we are. Okay, but all at the same time, too, they're trying to be us.
Yes.
It's so messed up, right? It's so twisted. It's so twisted.
I'm sorry.
It's so twisted. And, just going back to when you talked about Vietnam War, and, it made me think about like all these different movies, some texts that I've read in the past about how a lot of Black men came back to the country and felt like, I'll go to the war and come back and I'm still disrespected. I still didn't gain any more respect. And it's just like a lost fight. It's like a lost battle, figuratively and physically, because it's like, why is it that it seems to me, based on history, based on what you've even talked about today, it's a constant battle? Like, what is this battle about?
Right.
Really, truly.
Right. It's our existence. Look, let me tell you something. It's our existence. Okay. And, like I always say, Hollywood was invented, was actually erected in 1903. Okay. And, I'm not going to draw this out. I'm not going to make this too long. Hollywood was created, okay, for white Americans to pretend and to make themselves out of whoever they want to be. Like I always say, look, listen, let me tell you this. Okay, Aristotle, one of the greatest mathematicians on this planet.
Was it like Peter Pan? You know how Peter Pan went to a different world?
Yeah,
it's like that.
Yeah, Peter Pan, all those people, Peter Pan, right, exactly, right. Now, this is a picture right here of Aristotle that still lies over there in Notre Dame, the cathedral over there in Paris. Okay, this is a Black man, okay, that was actually taught, okay, by Socrates as well.
Slide it over a little bit more to your, what side is that for him? The other way. Good? The other way. Who's the other person? That's someone else? Because that looks like a Black man for sure.
Okay. You didn't be surprised, Donnie. Okay, this guy right here, Aristotle, okay, he was actually taught by this man right here, Socrates. Okay, he was a student of Socrates, and Socrates he was a Greek Black man. Okay, living in Athens.
He looks Black, okay? From the features. He looks Black though, right?
Wow. He looks Black. Socrates is Black.
That's because he is Black, right? One of the greatest mathematicians and philosophers, okay, on this planet. And let me tell you something. During the time when he walked this earth, okay, when he lived in Athens, guess what they called him? They called him a Black genius. They said the man could solve a math problem before you can get it out of your mouth. Okay. And let me say this too. Okay. Caucasians, okay, they came out of the caves in 3 BC. Okay. And, they can say what they want to say. Okay. And I'm going to drop this too. Okay. During the time of slavery, okay, there's no books that I've ever read. There's no movies that I've ever looked at, okay, where white Americans, okay, have taught us anything as far as culture, okay, as far as cultivating, math. The people that they was taking over from Africa were engineers. You're not going to look. Let me say this. When you're going to the store to buy something, okay, if you're going to when you're going someplace, okay, to build a house, you're going to get the best engineers to do it. You're going to get the best people to build your house. Okay, you're going to go and you're going to say, okay, I need somebody for this. I need somebody for that. I need somebody for that. That's exactly what they was doing when we was actually bought from Southwest Africa during the time of the Dahomean Empire. Okay, you had goldsmiths. You had people, that were engineers. You had translators. You had people that were speaking different languages, Hebrew. You had people that were speaking Arabic. Okay, so when they brought us over to America, okay, and look, we all know this. When Columbus came over here in the late 1400s, okay, when he came over here, it was the natives that taught them how to cultivate the land. Okay, so, and we all know the natives were colored people. Okay,
right.
The only thing Columbus brought over here was the smallpox, okay, the measles, and a bunch of damn boars and pigs. Okay, that's where the boars came from. He brought the boars on the ships. Okay, whoa, matter of fact, speaking of Columbus, wow, man. Okay, I'm gonna show you something. Okay, there was a Black man by the name of, and this is all in my book right here, okay, called We Once Were a Family, okay? This is all in my book. Now, how did Columbus get over here? Columbus got over here to America. There was a Black man, okay, by the name of Pedro Nino, okay? Here you go right here, Pedro Nino. This is the guy who showed Columbus, okay, how to get over here to America. And let me tell you the story, let me tell you the story behind this right here. This was the astronomer, okay, and the navigator, okay, that taught Columbus how to get to America.
Wow, okay, I'm sorry.
Because
see, this information, no, like.
Listen, Donnie, and listen, Asia, listen. Columbus and guys like Magellan, they thought the earth during that time was what? Was flat. You understand what I'm trying to say? They thought, listen, they thought the earth was flat. Pedro Nino, this brother said, listen, hell no. Okay, I can get you over there to America. This was the man right here. Matter of fact, it was him and he had a brother. They was called the Nino brothers. Okay, they was the ones who taught the Romans how to get over here to America.
Listen, I don't mean to interject.
You know that. Yeah.
Okay.
Look, it's people that still think the earth is flat, by the way, but let me get to this comment.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Kathy Tatum in the building, y'all. Thank you so much, Kathy, for tuning in. She says, I love this award-winning, congressional recognized platform and all their guests. Yes, thank you so much, Kathy. But back to you, Arthur Frank. Listen, I didn't know that, okay? And I love astronomy. I love it. That's one of my degrees, actually. I love it with a passion. And I said, maybe my lineage is linked to somebody who like intensely studied this and had a great love for it.
Right.
There you go.
Right.
I'm gonna have to look that up through Ancestry. I don't know which way to go with that.
Aristotle, Socrates, Aristotle, black man. Okay, he was a great astronomer. Okay, he was a black man. Okay, I'm gonna draw your attention to something else. Shakespeare, another black man. Okay?
You know, I just found that out a few years ago. Surprised me. Because in all the movies and everything here in the States, they depict him as an Anglo-Saxon.
Right, and I'm gonna hit you with this. The original Anglo-Saxons were black as well too. Okay, now I'm gonna hit you with something. Okay. During the time of the 1400s, okay, during the Italian Renaissance period, okay, prior to the Italian Renaissance period, you can't find too much Caucasian art, okay, and you had the popes, okay, that were commissioning people like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci, okay, to go around, and Rembrandt, okay, to go around and take down all the dark art, and repaint it. That's the reason why during the time of the Renaissance period, the word Renaissance just means to rebirth or to renew. So you got to kind of ask yourself, what in the hell was they rebirthing and what in the hell was they renewing? Right.
Oh,
so this was something that they did, okay, was one of the greatest identity thefts, okay, in world history. So what were they doing? They were actually stealing the identity, okay, and this is a real picture right here, okay, of a Jesuit priest, okay, that's actually changing, okay, the picture, okay, and he's changing the picture from dark, okay, to white. And this is what they did, okay, this is what they did. That was, look, simple thing. Rembrandt, he was an artist, you know, during the time of the Renaissance period. You can go in Walmart today and you can get yourself some Rembrandt toothpaste. And what is on there is good for what? For whitening the teeth, okay? So look, that's exactly what they did, okay? Now look, they threw that in your face, and a lot of people don't even know that. When you go in the store, anything that deals with Rembrandt, with the name Rembrandt on it, okay, it's known for whitewashing. That's what they did during the time, okay? And Rembrandt was a known artist, okay, during the time of the Renaissance period. And what they were doing, they were whitewashing the dark pictures, okay, the original dark pictures from black to white. For what? For white supremacy. Okay, in order to conquer a people's mind, you have to make yourselves look as the greatest people on this planet. Okay, how the hell did Elizabeth Taylor play the part of Cleopatra?
Right.
It's a joke.
I'm telling you.
It's a joke. It's a joke. You know, it really is, you know. And so that's what they did during the 1400s. And I'm going to tell you like this, okay? They selected artists, okay, like I said, like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci, okay, but still in Rome, okay? And one of the biggest things that they did, that they changed, okay, and I'm not going to get too biblical on you, okay? You can go to Rome today, to the middle of Rome today, okay? And these are pictures that I've actually gotten out of my books from these museums, okay? The world's flat. Right, so you could go to museums and you can go to archives and stelaes that's still over there in Rome and Italy.
Hold on, wait, let me read this for people who just came on. Wait, Kathy says, wait, you're telling me a black man knew the world wasn't flat? Chosen people, I tuned into this history lesson.
This is vital information, people.
Right.
But you know, this explains why some of us grasp physics and mathematics so easily. Like, it just comes to us. Like, you know what I mean? Without any intense training.
Right.
Or studying.
Right. And that's the reason why a lot of us fail American history too. I used to fall asleep in American history. When
I didn't know.
Facts. I hated history. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I that's why I never really tried to learn history, because it was just all whitewashed, literally.
Right. Absolutely right. And it's and let me tell you something else. It's no shame, okay, in learning who you are. It's no shame in learning who your forefathers was. We're the greatest people on this earth. Okay. It's just that America has made us feel ashamed, okay, of being who we are. We're the only people, let me tell you something. We're the only people who get scrutinized, and we're the only people who gets, scrutinized and locked up, okay, and validated for being us. Okay, you can't wear your hair a certain way. You got to wear it this way. No, you can't speak this way. That's called ebonics. No,
we're getting some shock faces as reactors on this everything.
Right. You can't do this, because that's a little bit too black. You can't do this. You can't. It's a little. We the only people on this.
I'm sorry to interject again, but not the toothpaste. Put the link in the book. I need it and at the polls. This woman is actually very powerful who's commenting right now. And
I'm going to put it in the comments.
Yeah, Asia will post it in the comments for you, Kathy. Make sure, Kathy, please share this live video with others, please, because everyone needs to know the truth. Absolutely.
And look, let me say this too. When the pictures, what they were taking down, okay, you can go over to Rome today. And you can still see pictures, okay, of Christ and the 12 disciples with afros and dark skin. This is the kind of stuff that they don't show you over here in America, okay? You can still go to Rome, okay, over there in the Vatican City, okay, over in Domitilla, or you can go to Europa, Rome, and this is the kind of stuff that they still have, okay, over in this is a picture of Moses and Aaron. They got afros, okay, and this is the stuff that they hide from you over in Vatican City. Okay, this is the Moses and Aaron walking through the Red Sea. Look, just as dark as LeVar Burton. Okay, that
sure is. It most definitely is.
And listen, let me say this. Okay, this is the kind of stuff that they were hiding. Okay, and that they still hide to this day. Okay, that they don't want you to know, because why? It brings about a self-esteem about yourself, a self-awareness about yourself. You weren't just the people coming off the slave ships and you didn't know nothing. Massa was just whipping you and you was just, yes, Massa, no, Massa. No, we were the great people that built this place up, okay? And we still build this place up, and they still build our ideas, okay, and capitalize and commercialize off of our great inventions, okay? That's the only thing that they do. Same thing, when you go to work and they say, okay, well, you work at plant 1, 2, and 3. I work at plant. No. What it is just a plantation, 1, 2, and 3. Plants is just short for plantation, okay? The only thing that they did, they just put numbers on. They put a dome over the field, okay? If you got a cousin that you driving to work, okay, and they may say, okay, well, I work over here at plant number 3. No, still a plantation. Nothing. Beethoven, okay, one of the greatest, okay, composition, one of the greatest, okay, guys, pianists, okay, and composers on this planet. He also was a black man, okay, right along with Shakespeare. Okay, this is another picture. This is a guy right here by the name of George Bridgetower. Always get his name mixed up. Okay, and
George, he looks like he was on a lighter skin of side.
Right. There you go. Right. And this guy right here was by the name of George Bridgetower. He hung out with Beethoven. This was Beethoven's buddy. Okay, this was Beethoven's buddy. Beethoven taught him, okay, the art, okay, of playing the piano, okay, and stuff. And like you said, he might have been on the lighter side, but at the same time, too, the world knows Beethoven was a black man. Okay, you can look at his mask and his speeches and tell he was black. He was a black man, absolutely. Okay, but the reason why, they don't show it to you, because, like I said, it may build up your self-esteem, okay? Because now America,
God forbid, huh?
right. Lord forbid your self-esteem is built up. Are you kidding me? You may have a uprising or something like that.
You may just have a real idea. You guys may just start working together. You may just find out how great you are.
Right.
And that's probably why I know for myself as a Black woman that speaks out against injustice for our Black children, we're not heard because they feel we're inferior per se.
Right.
And so, that's where that mindset comes from.
Right. Absolutely. And we inherited that from our forefathers. They beat the hell out of us. Okay. They beat the hell out of us.
Veronica says, on our ancestors' back, this country was built. Facts.
You better believe it. You better believe
Another
it.
sister from Sisters Talk.
You better believe it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely. That's right.
But I think this is a testimony. Everything that you just heard Arthur Frank Jordan say, this is a testimony to why you ask yourselves, well, why did he or she get so angry when I did this, that, or the other? These are the reasons why we get angry. It's not because we're angry people. We're probably one of the most loving groups of people on this planet as a whole. That's without the broken people included, because you have those in every race. But on a serious note, you think about it. Some of us are a group of individuals whose ancestors were shipped from one continent to another. We lost all of our history in the transport, and we were beaten to submit to another group of human beings. It's ridiculous. And yet we say that the Holocaust was the worst human brutality on in human history. That's just not true. No. It was the only one that was recorded that had evidence left behind.
Right.
But when you think about it, we have gone through so many constant atrocities, even up to current dates.
Right.
And if I'm a liar, tell me why 2020 looks so scrambled up. Tell me why this whole movement of BLM has blown most CEOs and business owners, these $1 million corporate figures, out of the water to just accept diversity now.
Right.
Come on.
Today, 2020, after all of these years, decades, centuries, it really took.
Come on, Angel, let's hand clap somebody about the book. Woo!
Thank you, Tatum.
Thank you, tuning in. Buying the book, share. Oh yeah, let me put a little chime in. Everybody that's tuning in, because I was getting carried away listening to all this wealth of information. Listen. I love people who can give knowledge to me that I didn't even know where to look for it. I just love soaking it up. So guys, please make sure you like, comment on the live thread right now. Make sure you share this video, share, not necessarily just for Sisters Talk, but for the information that needs to be dispersed. This man has a lot of knowledge about our history that is not being taught in the universities, is not being taught in the elementary schools, is not being taught in the school systems at all. So it's going to be up to us to teach our children, period.
Right. Veronica.
Our language.
Right. Veronica said we lost our language. She's absolutely correct. The English, listen, let me say this, right? We speak a broken English language. When you go over to Britain, the people over there in Great Britain, they can actually understand every word that we're saying. They speak that pure English language, that pure English language. But you got to kind of ask yourselves, why is the English language taught, to the slaves over here in America? It's because we're still living up under the British, up under the British rule. We're still living up under the United Kingdom. Queen Elizabeth, the lady that sits over there, she got a son by the name of Prince Charles. They are the rulers of this whole earth. Everybody pays taxes to them. That's the reason why they understand that we speak a broken English language, because the slaves, the colonies and the French, they're still paying taxes, on the slaves over here. When we came over to America, we were speaking all kind of languages, We were speaking Hebrew, we were speaking Arabic, we were speaking all kind of languages, But the English, the main people that rule this earth, is the British Empire. Those are the ones that rule this earth. Queen Elizabeth, nobody else gets called queen, except for her over there. That lady got to be at least about 1,000 years old. Every time I turn around, that lady, she got to be at least 1,001, at least. It's like that lady never. It's like that lady, and that's a different, and that's a different story for a different day. How they.
Oh yeah, I definitely want to have that conversation with you for sure.
Yeah, blood and how they drink blood and to keep themselves young. And eat the placentas of the babies.
That information is coming out at an alarming rate, especially this year. But we do have a comment. We have several comments, guys. I'm so sorry. We're getting into it, okay? Nikila says, we need our own schools. Come on. Talk to them, Arthur Frank. Talk to them.
Absolutely. Because let me tell you something, Nikila. Growing up, in Brooklyn, how do you explain a Caucasian okay, a Caucasian teacher by the name of Miss Steinberg. How do you explain her teaching our kids or myself about Black history or Black slavery? You know, it's better being taught from our own, okay, from our own people's perspective, all right, because they're not going to give you the truth. Because look, okay, just like just like they try to throw in indentured servants. Look, let me tell you something. The indentured servants were really just vagabonds that were actually over in Denmark and in Ireland, okay, that had to pay a debt. And so they worked their debt over here in America, and they came over here and farmed the land, and they owned the land for after 7 years. They owned their own land. Okay, it's a difference between indentured servants and slaves. Indentured servants and slaves. You see how the two differ? Okay. Slaves didn't own anything. Okay, they worked, their backs was whipped, they were hung. Okay, the women were forcibly raped. Okay, none of this happened to the Irish, or none of this happened to the people that were indentured servants. So a lot of times, what they're trying to do to American history, when you read the history books, what they're trying to do, they're trying to switch everything around. And now what they're trying to do, they're trying to incorporate indentured servants like they actually went through what we went through. No people on this planet Earth, okay, has been through what the Blacks have been through, okay, in America, even still,
and are still going through
every day. Okay, nobody, okay, nobody. Okay, not even the people that you mentioned, okay, during the time of Hitler, the Caucasians, the Germans. It was more, let me hit you with this too. It was more Black concentration camps after the Civil War, okay, than all of the time in Germany during the rule of Hitler. Okay, it was more Black, okay, concentration camps. That's another thing they do not teach you about in school. You had Black concentration camps where you had after the Civil War, where the slaves, they didn't have nowhere to go. They called them vagabonds and they called them vagrants. Okay. After the Civil War, you had them just hanging around. It wasn't doing nothing. So what the Confederate soldiers did, they actually captured them and put them back into a second slavery. It is known. It's called slavery after slavery. Okay. One of the prominent places, okay, where they tortured, okay, these slaves at, okay, and I just rode by there on my way to Memphis, okay, is a place called Natchez, Mississippi. Okay, it was called the Devil's Punch Bowl, where they recaptured.
I looked it up.
Yep. Where they recaptured, okay, the slaves after the Civil War that was still in Mississippi, and they put them in a worse slavery, and it was called a Black concentration camp. In less than 1 year, they killed and murdered, worked the slaves to death, over 20,000 slaves, and threw them over the cliff. And to this day, this is stuff that they don't teach our kids.
Be specific. They worked them until their death, literally, nonstop.
There you go. Kids too.
This is a real thing. I looked it up because of you being on that show, and you mentioned that, and I never heard of that in my life until this year.
Kids too.
It was a real situation, a real deal.
Why isn't that mentioned in school, Danny? Why isn't that mentioned in school?
They're not going to mention that. The thing is, it's what you said earlier in this interview.
We asked for
conversation. Yeah, you were saying that, this country, to me, now that you're helping me to see this, it's just this built up imaginary place. It's physical, it's real, but the idea of it, the concept, the foundation from which it was built is all something that has been created to uplift a certain type of people, and
right.
And it's very delusional. It's very unfair. It's very fictitious, even in its design, because the real truth has been hidden and buried. But now, as with anything, you can't continue a lie on forever. What's done in the dark will come to light.
Absolutely.
It's inevitable. And so I believe this is the year to reveal a lot of truths, and this is one of them.
Right.
We have some comments coming through. They didn't want us to wake up, and they still don't. Well, we're woke now, girl. You know how we kept saying that in 2017? Stay woke. Oh, matter of fact, shout out to Childish Gambino for bringing up that song. He made that title. He sang that song, and I feel like it resonated through the universe, and we're slowly but surely waking up. We have Nikila Reed, who says this is an educational system that was put in place before we were even allowed to participate.
Right.
Bingo.
Right, absolutely. And look, let me say this. In Asia, do you want to say something?
Yeah. So there are so many disparities in the school system. And Danny knows, like, this is my passion. I am passionate about teaching our children the truth and giving them the real, because at the end of the day, we've been lied to for so many centuries, so many decades. And the schools are talking about equity and making things equal and making things fair, but they actually are only trying to say it to say they're doing it, and they're not doing anything.
Right.
And so, you know, this type of platform is what we need to expose the truth and the information, so that way we can get it out to the public. And now we're waking up and we're like, what? Wait, Shakespeare was black? They're teaching about Shakespeare in school. It's a mandatory curriculum to learn about Shakespeare and the plays and, you know, that time span. But they're not telling them they're black, that he's black.
Of course not.
And not only are they not telling them, they're giving a fictitious image of a representation of who he was, and that's not true.
Right.
It's a lie.
Listen, let me tell y'all something on a very small, minute level that you can figure out yourself. Europeans don't have that soul like we got. Okay, they don't have that soul like we have. You know, back in the 60s, they used to call our music soul music. Okay, our food is different. They call our food soul food. Okay, we have a different soul than them. Okay, even in music. Okay, look, people can play games all they want to. Okay, we have a different music. Justin Timberlake, he gets famous because he acts like a Negro. His beats, his rhythm, the way Elvis Presley. Only reason why they said he was the king of rock and roll because he was emulating blacks. Okay, Jackie Wilson. Okay, and guys like that, Chuck Berry. Okay, the only reason why they become famous. Look at the Kardashian sisters. Let's put it out there. Okay, the only reason why everybody, oh my goodness, they look so.
Oh, since we're on the topic, can we put it out there? Can I interject?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, because I was just talking about this today, y'all. So look, seriously, Arthur Frank is onto something, because I was just talking about the song "Baby Got Back." I think that's what it was called. Back in the early 90s, you know, back then, a lot of people tried to make black women feel bad for having big bottoms. Let's be real. And they used to make fun of us, and they used to talk about us and say we look like monkeys and bamboo and things like that. But now you fast forward to 2015, 2016, you have all these race of women that are going to get lip injections. They're going to get tan. They're going to go get these butt injections. They're going to go do it all to look like who? Let's be realistic about it. Let's be honest. And let's be transparent about it. Right. You can say Brazilian all day, but guess what, baby? What Brazilian have in it? Okay. All right. So I'm just saying, like, we have to be very open and honest about this. So is it that in the early 90s, people were making fun of us because they themselves weren't shaped that same way and they wished to be? Or did you seriously think it was disgusting? Because even within Sir Mix-a-Lot's rap song, and this is a funny analogy, but it's true. He said, hey, he likes it. I don't know what y'all tripping on. He was honest about what he liked, and granted, everybody likes what they like. But if it's so bad, why are you pressing yourself so hard to look like something that you claim was ugly less than 20 years ago, or a little over 20 years ago?
Right. We don't listen, even with the music, we don't make heavy metal music. That music, we don't bang guitars on the stage. That's all self-taught. If you do have,
we did create rock and roll.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But rock and roll, listen, but the rock and roll, they always take what we have and they destroy it. Okay, the rock and roll that we created wasn't, you know, on stage and drinking bats blood, okay, and taking acid. We didn't do that. We was just rock and roll, just having a lot of fun. Okay, but you know, we weren't destroying, you know, $1,500 Fender guitars or nothing like that and jumping into the audience. We don't have a wish to die. We don't. We like to live. Okay, that's just us. We like to live. We're lively people. Okay, we don't have a death wish. That's them. You know, that's the reason why you have people in Paris that get on the Eiffel Tower with a cell phone taking selfies, and you got the group of people hanging on by one hand, okay, taking selfies. They have a wish to die. We like to live. That's the reason why they create the medicines that they create. Absolutely, Christ was black. I got a couple of pictures of them in the book. Okay, and let me tell you something. Okay, they, like I said, that's a different topic for a different day too. Okay, but they have a wish to die. That's the reason why they call themselves daredevils, and that's the reason why they go out and you got guys that make movies like Jackass and running through fire and then hitting their head on microwaves and.
No, I once read somewhere, and I don't know how true this is that sometimes that will to want to end everything, end it all, is that lack of melanin. I heard that there's an extreme association with melanin and mental health. I don't know how true that is. I haven't done any personal research on it, but I read that somewhere. I can't remember where it was. Have you heard that?
Where melanin is who? I don't know. Right.
The relationship between melanin and mental health.
Right. Well, let me say this. I mean, to have more melanin in your skin, I mean, that's the darker the better. A lot of people, the darker, because it saves you from a whole host of ailments, cancers, skin cancers. That's the reason why they be on the beach, rolling around looking like a rotisserie chicken. Nobody can
I'm done. Let me cut you off. Let me interject. I'm done with you. Hold on. Okay, so Kathy says Jesus and black, and we still the only race trying to bring everything together. We built different. So
right. Here's some pictures of Christ still over there in Rome. Okay. These are pictures of Christ, okay, that's still over there in Rome. And these pictures and paintings, okay, were up before the 14th century, before the Roman, okay, before the Italian Renaissance period had came. Okay, and these pictures are still over there on the walls. Okay, now this brother doesn't look Caucasian at all. Okay.
No.
This is a picture of Christ. This is another picture of him as well, too. Okay.
Wow.
Post a picture up at that. And these are still paintings that are still over there, okay, in Rome, okay, and over there in Italy as well, too. That's where the Renaissance period started from. But I will tell you exactly, okay, who the man is. Okay, if you really want to go there, I don't want to go there, but if you really want to
go pause, because I have to read a lot of comments. I'm so sorry. Everybody's lit tonight. So they're 400 years up. Us as teachers, we have to squeeze these jewels in. I'm so done with this picture you just that's hanging on everyone's grandmother's wall.
Right, exactly right. It's on everybody's grandmother's wall, right? This man name is Caesar Borgia. Okay, he was the second-born son of Pope Alexander VI of Rome. Okay, and during this time period, what they did, they actually painted. Okay, for white supremacy, they painted. Okay, Christ as being a so-called white man. You can look it up, Caesar Borgia. Okay, I'll show it to you again. And when you look at the Last Supper, and this is very important. Okay, when you look at the Last Supper, the so-called Last Supper, I'm gonna point something out to you. Okay, now Christ biblically, okay, had all men disciples, and when you look carefully at this picture, there are two women in this picture. There's one sitting there. And there's one over here. It's two women. A lot of our people didn't catch that. Okay, this is a picture of Caesar Borgia and his family. Okay, he got his dad in there. He got his sister Lucretia in there. Okay, this is exactly what it is. You have two women that are in this picture. Okay, my pen is I'm trying to go towards the camera, but you got one sitting on his left and you got one sitting on his right. Okay, you got one sitting on the left and you got one sitting on the right. That's something that's another thing that they won't teach you in school. But I'm gonna show you something else. Okay, the popes in Rome, okay, they all know that Christ is they all know that Christ is a black man. Okay, these are the popes in Rome and the Vatican City. Okay, and the image that they're bound down to on the wall, okay, is an image, okay, of Mary and Christ as being black. Okay, now I'm gonna see if I have another bigger picture of it. I'm quite sure I do. Trying to find another bigger picture of it. Okay.
Okay. But while you do that,
in a contrast,
I'm gonna read a few more comments. We have a lot of them. 400 years being conditioned and whitewashed and lied to. And Asia from earlier, you were right. I'm sorry, I'm so late. Okay. All right. Yep. Appropriation. Now everyone's trying to copy our bodies and culture. I agree. One proudest day in school, and they played Roots for a whole week. Other races and white teachers were speechless, and we black students were flashing back to our DNA.
Right.
I'm done. I'm not going to even read that.
Yeah.
From what you said earlier.
Yeah, and they don't. And let me tell you something. They don't get no melanin. They get red. They may get a little red. Okay, temporarily. Okay, we don't go in tanning salons. You know, they have tanning salons. You know, they have tanning salons.
People said she needs a flashcard set for her kids with descriptions. Is that something you're willing to start doing?
That's a good product right there. Come on out with that product next.
Right. Okay. Right.
I'm going to promote that.
We'll help you. We'll help you get it all together.
Okay, I can make that happen. Sarah Boone. Okay, this is a sister right here. Sarah Boone. Okay, this is a sister right here. Okay, by the name of Sarah Boone. Guess what she invented? The ironing board.
Yeah, that's right. I was gonna say we know her. We know about her.
Yeah. Okay. Watch this. This is a man by the name of Joseph Smith. You know those sprinklers that they have on the golf courses? They go ting 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 ting. There you go. There you go. Okay.
Everyday luxury.
Right.
There you go. But they don't want you on the golf course.
They don't tell us this.
Huh?
They don't tell us.
Nikila said she needs her cut.
She needs her cut for the flashcards. The flashcards idea.
The idea. Look, we have it on record, video and black and white. Come on, sis. I understand
the information's coming from you, Frank. Okay, the information.
Right.
We need this. This is so necessary, and we need more people to feel comfortable to do this.
Right. Yeah. Let me show you something. These are Vatican priests. Okay, these are priests. Okay, in Vatican, and they're holding up. What do you see? They're holding up and they're worshiping a picture of Christ as being black. That's what they do. Because why? Because they know that Christ is a so-called black man. They know that. Okay. They know that. They know this. Okay. This is something that they're not going to teach you in school. They're not going to teach you in church. Okay. Everybody knows Christ.
And let's go a little bit deeper. Let's go over some more cultural lines. When you think about India and you think about the guys that they serve, they're painted as dark blue, black, brown. Let's be realistic. Like, I just want people to open their minds for a second. Seriously. We've all seen it. We may not have traveled there and physically touched it ourselves, but we've seen this. Right. So we want to continue to believe the lies. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to. I've heard people say to me, seriously, Arthur Frank, I've said, well, you know, it's a strong possibility that God is black based on the hair of wool reference and the feet of bronze reference, right? And we're going to base it strictly on literature, aka the Bible, yeah? And the response I received, listen to the response I received was, oh, it doesn't matter about color.
Right.
But if it didn't, then why?
Right, exactly. Look, color only matters, okay, is when you tell the truth and that he's black, okay? But all day long, okay, it doesn't matter if you got Caesar Borgia, okay, all day long. Nobody protested that. How come we didn't protest the fact that Mel Gibson 10 years ago, 15 years ago, made a movie called The Passions of Christ, and he played our brother Christ as being a so-called white man? Okay, would it be fair? Okay, if Denzel Washington played the part of George Washington, you'll have all hell break loose in Hollywood. But how come they always, our people, like sheep, okay, we always fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Okay, we never protest nothing or anything like that. You let Wesley Snipes, okay, try to play Ben Franklin, okay, and you'll see the hell that breaks loose in Hollywood. Okay. Well,
look, they got mad when the black kid played a part in Star Wars. Remember the lead role?
Right.
They lost their mind. I was like, are you kidding me?
Right.
What's the big deal? So Veronica says they know the truth, always have. And Nikila says it's in the Bible, epic scene in Malcolm X.
Yeah. She's right. She's absolutely
Mary Magdalene. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I said she's absolutely correct.
Yeah, Mary Magdalene was at Last Supper. She wasn't leaving God's side.
Right. And look, let me say this too. Just recently, the actor Idris Elba, they had wanted to portray him as 007, the first black 007, James Bond. Hollywood said, hell no. They said, hell no, that ain't happening. That is not happening. You know, so my thing is that if Hollywood can say that, it's all part of white supremacy to get a people to bow down to you and to look up to you. like you're the pinnacle of beauty. Every time you open a book, you see a Caucasian woman. Every time you look on Elle magazine, you see a Caucasian woman, and what that does, that subliminally gets into your minds, as kids. When, you look on TV, you see white women, as being newscasters. When you go stores, store mannequins, they're white. This subconsciously gets into your head, okay, that these people are superior. Okay. And that's the reason why the fear factor comes in us. And we got that humble spirit. And, a lot of our people are scared to walk down the office building and look, Becky in the face. You got a lot of people that's scared to look Caucasians in the face, walking out of the hall, they'll put their head down. They can't look them in the eyes. They put their head down. And that's that fear that has been bred in us, okay, since slavery, Caucasians and white people. Yeah,
it's
used to tell our people.
And then when they run across people like myself in Asia who are direct and we fear nothing but God, it's like it's a problem. Now we're problematic, but that's just, we know who we are. Right. You're no different or any better than we are. Are you kidding me? Right. So people need to realize that we're all the same. We're different skin colors. Maybe we're not exactly the same, but I mean in the sense that nobody's gonna bow down to anybody. Just relax and do you, and leave us alone. We just want to be left alone and be happy. And so Kathy says, oh, go ahead. Sorry,
I think that's where the diminishing of Black women come from. They diminish us and try to make us feel as if our opinions don't matter. And they make other people feel, oh, she's crazy. That's where the Black women are crazy comes from.
Or she's aggressive.
She's aggressive. She's crazy. Something's wrong with her. Don't listen to her. She doesn't know what she's talking about. So, but it can be the same exact thing that someone of another race says.
Right.
In the same exact way. Right. And they receive it. Yes.
You know what I was told, Asia? I was told that we're on different frequencies, literally. Like if you can break the body down to the genetic DNA code and measure the frequencies, we are literally different frequencies. And that's the reason why, like what you said a minute ago, and I don't know if this is factual science. I would love to do a research panel on this, but that may be the reason why when we speak, they don't hear us. One is a choice, but maybe the second is because we're truly on a different frequency. What do you think, Arthur Frank?
Of course. Look, it's our very existence, that frightens them. They know. Okay. I mean, I've lectured in universities. I've lectured all over, and one thing I can say, about a smart intellectual European, they will agree with you. Okay. They will agree with you. They will agree with facts and they will agree with history. Okay. And they're more mad at their forefathers than they're more mad at their parents for lying to them as well. Look at everyone like about maybe a year ago, back this summer, Asia, everyone was saying, oh my goodness, the Confederate statues and General Lee, these guys got to go. Oh my goodness, the Confederate, pull them down. But listen, I've been saying for years, that the very things that America and the monuments that America has been founded on and stand on, especially Columbus, everything is named that. You would literally have to tear the entire America down. Okay, George Washington had slaves. How many bridges and how many housing projects and how many high schools is named after George Washington? Okay, how many banks, how many schools, how many hospitals is named after Christopher Columbus? You literally have, America puts right in our faces, okay, that their forefathers, okay, who came over here and robbed and raped to get this land, they put it in our face, okay, and uplift these people like it's okay. I've been saying for years about Columbus, and he's a thief, he's a robber, he's a murderer, and yet, everything is really named after Columbus University, Columbus Avenue. You would literally got to tear this entire place down. But you want to know something? We're the biggest consumers America has. We keep this place going. We bring life to this place. We're the biggest consumers. Back in 2000, I think it was back in 2018 that I wrote in one of my books, Black spent over $2 trillion, okay, in 1 year consuming America good and pumped into white corporate America. How many Black hospitals we got? How many Black schools we got? How many Black supermarkets we got? How much land Blacks got? If you got Black people that own land, okay, they're selfish and they thinking for themselves, not thinking about, for their own people. People can say whatever they want to say about
Agreed.
entertainers. People can say whatever they want to say about entertainers. This guy gave and the charity he gave, and he's building schools over here. But how many of those black entertainers are telling us to get together, get our own land, and get our own damn communities? Okay, and that's what counts. And let me tell you,
Wait. You have average people who don't have that much money screaming that every day.
Hey, listen. Look, I know Danny, and I know you, Asia. I know between the both of y'all know about 50 people. Okay, get those 50 people to hand up about $100 a piece, and y'all can go out and y'all can buy you 2-3 acres of land. And let me tell you something. Back during the time of segregation, okay, the black dollar recycled, okay, in the black community 135 times before it left. So you know what that means? It went from my black business, my hands, your hand, your black business, 135 times before it left the community. Do you know how many times what's the percentage on it now? 2 times.
I was just gonna say maybe 1 or 2. I believe it.
2 times. Okay.
I believe it.
The Asian dollar stays in the Asian community for 30 days. For 30 days before it leaves. The white dollar stays in the white community for 17 days before it leaves. You know how long the black dollar stays in the black community now? 6 hours.
Wow. I said one day. I was going to say 1 day.
I was hoping it was a day.
That's terrible.
6 hours before it leaves out. How many of y'all seen? Listen, let me tell you something. Okay, the Caucasian and the Koreans, okay, that have a business in your neighborhood. How many times they came back to the black community and supported a black business? They go home, they take your damn money, and they get the hell out of here. Absolutely. Same with the Arabs. Okay, they'll sell you meat, they'll sell you poison, they'll sell you cheap Fuego orange sodas that are killing you. Okay, that's killing your damn liver. Okay, but how many of them, okay, come back to the black community during a black event, okay, a block party, can be anything, a barbecue, and support us? They don't, because they don't give a damn about us. The only thing they care about is that black dollar, and they getting their asses up out of there and laughing at us at the end of the damn day because we so stubborn, okay, and we don't have any discipline, and we're not loyal to one another anymore. That's just it. The credit debit system, the voting system has made us disloyal to one another to depend on a Democratic or Republican. Okay, that's the reason why we're not loyal to one another anymore. The gang, you know, we're looking at the gang violence and, you know, the way the hood is set up with the gangs, and everybody's saying, oh my goodness, blacks, they're committing genocide, they're killing one another. But let me ask you a question. The last time I looked, okay, the Mossberg family were white people that make guns. Smith and Wesson are 2 European brothers that make guns. Okay, the Remington family are another family, white Caucasian. So you got to go to the source, okay? And you got to say, well, if black people are killing up each other in the neighborhoods, then why make the guns to give them that option? Why make guns to give them that option to kill one another? The same thing with narcotics. Oh my goodness, blacks, you know, drug dealers. We don't force blacks to take drugs and this and that. So if you go back about the labs and the ethanol, we don't have those laboratories to make the drugs. Why give the people, our people never want to blame and put the blame where it's supposed to be. You know, where does it start? You don't start here. You got to start at the root. Bingo. There you go. You got to start at the root of the problem and get rid of it. If you got an apple tree in your backyard, you don't want the tree to yield apples no more. You're not going to just cut off the vines because they're going to just regrow again every season and produce more apples. What are you going to do? You're going to uproot the damn tree and you're going to destroy it. Okay? Y'all know exactly what the hell.
It's so funny. It's so funny you say that because in corporate America, when I think around 2011, 2012, they came up with the root problem cause strategy to try to do bring production up. But while we can't do that with the entire country, with the root problem and what caused that problem for us and how we're being treated.
Right. Let me hit you with this too. Back in from 1988, I think, to maybe 1990, I think when Jesse Jackson was trying to push. It was Operation Push, and he was trying to, run for president. And he was actually trying to get reparation for black people as well. So he was just throwing that in the pot. So white America said, listen, Jesse, you're right. We do owe blacks, we do owe blacks. That's my sister actually, that just commented. Yeah. And we do owe blacks reparation, for all the damage that we've done and what they have contributed to the society. So Jesse actually negotiated a thing called affirmative action. So he didn't settle for a long-term, repayment. He actually settled and signed and let Congress sign on affirmative action, letting blacks work in corporate America. And the key word is you're still working up under a white system, called affirmative action. So what do they do, Danny? So what do? They say, okay, well, instead of having 2 blacks, we're going to hire 10. I'm sorry,
Exactly.
And it's laughable. It's very laughable, because it goes to show you that, we don't think, we just settle and we just become complacent, okay, in what white America has to offer us. Okay, well, we're not going to settle for reparation. Okay, we'll take affirmative action, so the kids, when they go to college, they can get out and they can still work for white America. Okay, there's very few colleges out here that teach and that prepare, okay, our kids to open up their own business in their own communities, or open up your own business, period. You understand what I'm trying to say? There's very few schools that do that. They prepare you to get out of school and work for corporate white America. Okay,
Yes.
keep this place going. There you go.
Waking up now, though.
Yeah.
It's so many black small businesses this year that just blossom out of nowhere.
I agree. I totally agree. I totally agree.
And we teach our children that as well. You do well in school, you go to college, and then when you get out of college, you're going to get a great job.
Right.
We don't teach our children entrepreneurship. I think now we're teaching them, I know for myself, I'm teaching my children that. I'm showing them different things about my business and how I operate with my business, but that's what they do in all the other cultures. They have these family businesses already established, and they teach them the business as their children. So if you have a 5-year-old and you have a restaurant, my 5-year-old is going to sweep the floors in a restaurant or wipe the tables down. You're teaching them the structures of how business work. But because we're not taught entrepreneurship, when we get into it, we're learning everything all at one time. Right.
It's still called conditioning. We're still dependent on slave master, for everything. During the time of slavery, they didn't even allow blacks, and the only thing they allowed blacks to do, was come and clean their houses. And matter of fact, we had to actually cook the food on the outside. That's where barbecuing came from. They didn't allow blacks to come in the house. They had stoves on the outside where they told us to go outside and cook. And that's where barbecuing came from. Blacks used to cook outdoors for slave master. And a lot of people don't even know that. Why do you think blacks like to barbecue so much? Where did that come from? Really?
I love it.
During the time, yeah, so do I. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get some as soon as this is over with. But that's besides the point. But where do you think stuff like that came from? It came from blacks, grilling on the outside. They weren't allowed on the inside of the house until later on, until slave masters started mixing them and calling in the house Negroes and helping them inside, and until they started mixing in. That's when they started allowing us in the kitchens. Later on, further on down the line in slavery. But during the time of the early 1600s and in the 1700s, they told us to go outside and cook, take rocks and take sticks and take iron and go out there and cook our food, and then you bring it on the inside. Okay, now we had to serve. Now you had later on during the time of the 1700s and the 1800s, during the ending of slavery, you had the cooks that used to tell the slave, the field guys, the field Negroes, to come and get your food, and they used to pass it through a window. Where do you think drive up when you go to a restaurant? You drive up to a window. Where the hell do you think the sliding of the food came from? That came from slavery. Okay, food takeout, because that's exactly what they was doing to the slaves. They was like, listen, here's your bag, here's your food. take it the hell up out of here. They wasn't allowing the slaves to build slaves.
Listen, let me cut you off. You can't give all this away for free. I'm going to cut him off right here. Listen, y'all, if y'all want to hear more, y'all got to just type in the comments or DM me and say, hey, bring Arthur Frank Jordan back. You don't even have to tell me. I'm going to bring him back anyway. But we're going to definitely have to pick back up. Because listen, I told y'all, what I tell them, Asia? We're dropping gems all day.
For real.
Well, not us.
And it's so much more to learn.
I appreciate the both of y'all. Mm-hmm.
Listen.
Oh, yeah. Hey, listen, I can be on here tomorrow morning.
Say it again,
and thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh, no. We thank you. Listen, everybody who tuned in, we want to thank you guys for hanging out with us on this Friday night. Arthur Frank Jordan, go check him out. He has a lot of books out there, at least 7 Black history books that are available on Amazon. We Once Were a Family, The Disappearance of Black Soul and Culture. That's deep, y'all. And then he also has, look, he loaded up on the screen. Look at that. Let me go ahead and zoom in on you.
You don't even have enough space for all the books that he has.
500 Years of American Deception, Unmentioned Secret, World History, available on Amazon. I'm going to get my copy tonight. Oh my God. What about, do you have the vaccine book?
Yeah. I don't have it with me now, but it's called, it's actually called Uncovering the Evil of America, What the CDC and the FDA failed to tell you. And I actually wrote that book. I wrote that book 5 years ago. And, the book has actually done phenomenal, than the past 2 years. I mean, I can't keep them in stock.
'Tis the season, okay? With this COVID-19 vaccination that they're trying to administer. I don't have no time for that. And I said that on the air. Anyways, listen, y'all. Nikila says, absolutely. I'm kind of late on this. Oh, thank you, Veronica, for tuning in tonight.
Thank you, Veronica.
Thank you, Miss Tina.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tina.
Y'all, I'm over here sweating with all the information he gave tonight, and I still want to know more. I can still go. But I know we have to cut this where it is. But listen, oh my God, Arthur Frank, you are amazing.
Let's talk about the Tuskegee experiment next time we come on in the vaccination shots and how that's all linked up.
Okay, yes.
And that's in this book right here too. That's in this book too about the Tuskegee experiments and how they experiment on us, how they experimented. The CDC gave permission to the hospitals to go down, the CDC to go down and perform this experiment on blacks to pump them up with syphilis.
Miss Nana said, Veronica said she's getting all of them. I don't blame you.
Thank you.
And Nana says, awesome, brother. Oh my God. Woo.
Thank you so much. And can you tell people how they can reach out to you if they have questions? Also, talk a little bit really quickly about your school.
Yeah, I have a Black History School. It's located in Raleigh, North Carolina, 817 New Bern Avenue, Suite 7 in Raleigh, North Carolina. We're open on Saturdays from 3:45 to about maybe 8 o'clock at night. And trust me, when you come there, you'll learn more in 3 hours than you will have ever learned in 4 or 5 years, okay, going to Harvard University. Because in Harvard, they teach stuff like this as well, too, in their Black history departments and their white history departments as well, too. But they don't give it to the Black community colleges, okay, because they still want you to be subservient to them, and they still want you to be on the credit debt system. As long as you're on the credit debt system, nothing else matters. You'll never think and you'll never learn to own nothing. They got you working in a cycle all the time, credit debt system all the time. You'll never stop to think. You'll never stop to think and go to a library. People don't go to libraries no more. All internet based, and everybody just learn and let the kids learn from the internet. People don't go to libraries no more.
How can people find you?
Oh, okay. You can actually email me, and I'm not one of those kind of people who won't email you back. ZAAQAN1212 @yahoo.com. And like I said, you can email me and I will email you back as soon as possible. I'm not one of those kind of people you email me and I won't. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I will email you as quick as possible. Like I said, I'm not one of those guys that won't email you back.
I know that for sure. You're awesome.
Thank you.
So thank you so much again.
Hey, I love you guys. Thank you so much.
We love you too.
Yes, thank you so much. And for you guys that are listening in, guys, thank you again. I hope you guys enjoyed this segment tonight of our King's Edition. Very honored to have Arthur Frank Jordan on the show tonight. My God, this man is powerful. I can't wait to see what's coming in your way in 2021. Hopefully we'll have you on for a real 2-hour long interview, because we're going to need about that to really get the full scope of things. And we'll try to arrange that sometime in January if you're not booked, because I see bookings in your future and many bookings.
Black History Month. Oh yeah.
Yes, and before I let everybody go, shortly after this is over, guys, I'm going to post on my wall and in a few other places. I have a short film that's going to be released tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm so excited. The short film is called Nella. I named it after my 2-year-old daughter. It is set to inspire the world, to wake you guys up so you guys can see some of the harshness that Black women encounter each and every day of their lives, from inception all the way until in late age. I mean, it doesn't stop elder age. Sometimes it's even worse, because sometimes we don't have families to take care of us. So I won't dive too much into that tonight, but I definitely want to put that on your hearts and your minds. You guys are going to get those links soon. I am so honored and blessed. I want to say this because this is the last show of the year for Sisters Talk Podcast. I'm so honored to know you guys. I'm so honored to be at the table with you guys. I'm so honored that the world is finally listening. I'm just so grateful. And it has been such a turbulent year for me personally, but I have seen so much greatness in the process. So I am giving all praises to the Most High. I'm also giving you guys a special shout out. Thank you so much, Asia, for your unlimited and abundant support of myself, my platform, and everything else that I do. And thank you, Arthur Frank Jordan, for being such a humble king and making your presence known and sharing your information.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. And so, Asia, do you have any closing words?
Yes. I'm honored and humbled and grateful for the opportunities being here. Danny, you have been absolutely phenomenal. You've been an amazing friend, business partner. I couldn't ask for anyone better to be in my circle. And, you know, I have a small circle. So I'm so grateful for everything you've taught me and everything you continue to teach me, and being here and encouraging me. And thank you so much. Arthur Frank, thank you for answering my email and deciding to come on the show, not even knowing what the show was really about. You just automatically said, yes, absolutely. And you've been very responsive. I'm so grateful for you teaching us and being open to teach us. And hopefully we can do this, maybe we can try to see if we can do this on a regular basis to continually teach our community, because it's needed.
Yeah, I would love that.
Just let me know. Let me know. I'm available.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll devise a plan.
All right.
Ooh, all right. Y'all almost got emotional. Okay, guys. So as always, thank you so much for tuning into the Sisters Talk Podcast. We'll see you next year, January 3rd. We're going to have a special guest. Can't talk right. Dr. Basim. Am I saying his name correctly? Abdul? Basim. Abdul. He's going to talk about the effects of trauma that men deal with secretly. And I think that's essential that we talk about that.
I'm so excited about that topic. You know, that's my other passion too.
Yes. And I'm like, look, we're about to save marriages. We're about to save friendships. Next year, we're about to save a lot of different things, because that stems into a lot of the issues that our community deals with.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Thank you, Arthur Frank. And guys, we're going to sign off. You guys have a blessed year, the remainder of the year. And let's kick 2021's ass.
That's
let's do this.
And let's work together.
That's right.
Absolutely, as a team.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a blessed one.
Good night.